on media day, it was confirmed that Ben Simmons did request a trade, and a report on media day also came out that Ben Simmons said playing with Joel Embiid has run its course, and he expected to be traded by now, and the organization's choice to build around Embiid doesn't fit Ben's style. And then Joel Embiid also came out and said that the organization didn't re-sign Jimmy because of Ben Simmons.
Mistake.
And they have tried to surround Ben Simmons and make him successful in Philly. And the fact that Ben Simmons isn't showing up is disrespectful to the guys on the roster trying to make a living, because being a team that wins a lot means a lot for players that are role players because they have a guaranteed spot in the league. And Joel Embiid was very critical of Ben. He did say they're a better team with Ben, but even without him, they're going to do just fine. So what do you think about Ben Simmons saying that the duo has run its course?
Before I get into Ben's statements, I want to just talk about Embiid real quick. It wasn't wrong.
I don't think he was wrong either.
I don't think anything he said was wrong.
Me either.
I didn't like him saying it. And the reason why I didn't like him saying it, and the only reason, okay, Ben, speaking about Ben is okay. The minute he brought up Jimmy Butler not getting re-signed, I felt as if now you're attacking Ben. You're not giving your perspective on what you think the organization should do. You're now pointing fingers as much like, okay, this whole organization is on a down spiral because of this guy. We didn't do this because of this guy. I didn't like that. Once he said that, I kind of threw it away because it to me it was wrong. If Joel Embiid is a real superstar, he's gonna be a real face of a franchise. He can't say things like that, bro.
Even though
he can't, and even though he might want to, right? You look at the real successful faces of the franchises right now in the NBA, bro. They're not saying statements like that. They're not saying we didn't sign this guy because of this guy. He has to grow up, bro. I didn't like that. But in terms of what Ben's saying, that I feel like he can say anything he wants to at this point because he's done with Philly. He's burnt his bridges. He knows he's burnt his bridges on the court, off the court. He knows that. So right now, I feel Ben can say anything he chooses because he knows in his heart he's not playing there anymore. So right now, what he's trying to do, he's trying to speed that process up. He's trying to do anything he can to say like, yo, they can never bring me back. And that I don't respect, but I understand. But in terms of Embiid, man, I don't think you say that. I don't think you ever go on record. You bring up another man, you say this is the reason why we didn't retain this guy. And, you know, he didn't want to play with this guy. That's not right if you're going to be a real superstar. And I believe, bro, we all know Embiid is superstar talent. He's big time. Top 2 center in the NBA. Depending on where you put Jokic. I got Jokic first. I got Embiid second. He's a crazy talent. You don't go on air. You don't do that. What do you think? What do you think, Rick? I don't know.
I understand his frustration. I feel like when you're right hand man, your partner in crime, you know, a man you went to war with in the playoffs repeatedly, you've tried to go amend the bridges with him. You didn't told like I'm cool playing with Ben when he doesn't want to show up, has completely denied y'all phone calls, denied y'all numbers, has ignored y'all. I understand. I'm not gonna say I completely agree with him coming out and saying, "Oh, by the way, we let Jimmy go and it was a mistake." Him saying he literally said it was a mistake. Like, I'm not saying I agree with that statement, but I understand the frustration. Like you're annoyed.
But he's bigger.
He is, but it's training camp. Like we just came off a season. We added Seth Curry, who had a career year. Yeah. We added Danny Green, a 3-and-D shooter. We got Matisse. I'm starting to step out and shoot the 3-ball. Tobias had a career year, consistency and efficiency wise. All you had to do was be aggressive. Like we had the team. Like we were the number 1 seed over the Nets, the Bucks, the Heat. Like we were the number 1 seed. All we had to do was beat Atlanta, and you chose to not show up in the fourth quarters. And then you don't take responsibility for your actions. You don't go in the gym and get better. You have not gotten better in your 4 or 5 year NBA career.
Do you think Embiid really enjoys playing with Ben Simmons?
No. I think he done did what a superstar has done. He had chalked it up, swallowed it, and just said, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and give my best effort.
And that's where I say he's wrong. You see what you just said? You just told me he chalks it.
Yeah, but it depends on who it is.
He didn't chalk it on that interview. He didn't chalk it wherever. I'm not sure where he gave this statement. I'm not sure where you pulled this statement from.
No, this is recently.
I just know that.
This media day.
Right. Oh,
yesterday, right? Yeah.
I just know that he just gave that statement at media day. He didn't chalk anything. What he did was he brought it to the forefront.
That's why I said I
exactly
understand
how he felt, and I understand why he did it because that's how he feels.
Frustration.
But
This is 3 years later, though.
Embiid is a certain talent that like he can't, bro. He could literally. He is the face of a franchise right now. He's the face of Philly, right or wrong. If they're gonna move a guy, who are they moving first?
They're moving Ben. You're right.
But this
is. I agree with what you said, and you talked about Ben trying to speed up that process. But at the same time, Embiid is probably feeling the same way because Ben Simmons is done with Embiid, and Embiid, he gave that statement because it's not like he didn't try. I mean, at some point when you try so hard, you're calling Ben, he's ignoring your phone calls. All that happens is Ben Simmons coming out and saying statements like this, saying that playing with Embiid has run its course. Now, Joel Embiid feels the type of way. He can say what he wants to because at some point, whether it's behind the scenes or to the media, you have to hold your teammates accountable. And he can't get in contact with Ben behind the scenes because he's ignoring his calls. So now you bring it to the media and you say, look, the organization has done everything for Ben. We didn't sign Jimmy back. We have tried to build this team around Ben and surround him with the proper personnel for him to be successful, and Ben hasn't done it. So our organization has done its part in trying to make Ben happy. So for Ben to give our organization the cold shoulder because he didn't show up, because he feels upset with fans criticizing him, he doesn't think is right. And also, when we're a part of a team, when Ben signed that max contract, you're obligated to be there. And your teammates that are counting on you to be there, they can't anymore. And Joel Embiid is right in the fact that a role player on a number 1 seed is going to get paid more than a role player on the 10th seed in the NBA. Thanks. Ben Simmons not going to Philly is making this team worse, which is ultimately making his teammates lose less money in the process. The difference in this situation, though, and I was looking deeper into this, is that we know Rich Paul represents Ben Simmons, and they have came out and said that they want a team to build around Ben Simmons, whatever that means, because who knows if that's going to even happen.
You know what the problem is with Ben? He's at the wrong position, bro. He's literally at the wrong position.
What the hell is position he need to be?
He's in the front, bro. He's a front court guy, bro.
He lacks the aggression to be a front court player.
I'm telling you right now, the easiest fix with Ben Simmons, easiest. You get shooters around him, you get killers around him. And you let him run his flow. You let him be him in the front court.
You say
but you
that,
don't give
but
him.
he
You don't give
Philly
him.
tried to do that.
Philly
No, they
that,
did
bro.
not. No, they did not. What Philly did was they gave him the ball. They put the ball in his hands. They made him a ball-dominant player.
That's what Seth came in for. A lot of the times, even in the playoffs, Seth was carrying that ball line. Ben was playing like power forward on offense. Like, he was playing big. He just lacks that aggression.
Is Seth a certified creator? Because I think Ben can get to the basket at any time he wants to.
But he doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's true. Yeah. So that I don't know. I feel like maybe you put him closer. If you put him closer to the basket, it makes it easier. Because, see, he has all this time to come up court, think about what he wants to do, who he wants to get involved. I think you're giving him too much freedom. I think you limit Ben Simmons. You put him in the front court. You put him next to a guy that could spread the floor but could also bang and make his job easier down there. And you give him a killer point, like a guy like Dame. Or Philly would have been crazy. Like, that's just crazy to think about. I think that's just crazy. Like sometimes I just sit there, I think about
we saw Dame
scenarios.
lose a playoff game where he's put up 40 plus.
I think he had 50.
He had 50. I think he'd be more annoyed with Ben than anything. I mean, what's holding back Ben and thinking the way that you're thinking is that he doesn't do anything in the playoffs. Like, if he were to actually show up in the playoffs, we'd be looking at him differently. But each time, every single playoff run, we can point to a moment and say, wow, he just played awful.
But see, that's because the floor gets condensed.
Because of him.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so why? Because they're playing him high.
Because he can't shoot.
They're playing him high.
Not even. It's
when
not.
He brings the ball up. They're playing him high.
But
they have to meet him.
But
they're not meeting him at half. They're not meeting him at 3.
You know what?
They're condensing the floor. They're meeting him at the free throw line.
You know what's flawed about that? They're guards guarding him.
This is what I'm saying.
He's 6'10".
Look. If you put Ben Simmons closer to the basket,
you don't have to do all that though. If he's the point guard, If he's the point guard, he brings the ball up. Run a set play where you get an ISO post up with the guard. There are guards that are 6'4", 6'3" guarding you. You have 4 shooters on the court: Embiid, Tobias, Seth, Danny Green. put them on the other side. You can't double team, and then you just post up and go get a bucket. He's 6'10". He just won't do it.
So tell me what's the difference in me saying that by him starting closer to the basket? I'll tell you.
I mean, of course, that could work too, but I don't think he's going to go up.
This is the difference with him starting closer to the basket. Someone else is now making that decision for him. You're taking away more freedom from him. So what does that do? That limits him, but he's a limited player already. So what you have to do, you have to use his abilities to your advantage. You can't put him in situations where he's gonna have to. People can exploit his weakness. If you have Ben Simmons, you cannot make him your primary guy. You cannot make him your primary ball handler because he's not a scorer. He's a facilitator. Now, he's a good facilitator. He's probably a great facilitator if you compare him to other guys in the league. Yeah, sure. But him doing that as your point guard is going to limit you because he cannot score. So he cannot score perimeter. If you start him closer to where he's more comfortable, that puts him in a better element.
But your plan will only work.
He's catching the ball now 10, 12, 15 feet away from the basket as opposed to bringing it up full court.
But your plan would only work if he had the aggression.
The plan only works if you get a killer at the one. And
no, the plan only works if he turns
if you get a killer at the one next to Ben Simmons in the front court, it could be just him and that killer, bro. I'm telling you. If you get somebody that can constantly give you 25, 30 at the one, that can work. Because Ben Simmons is starting closer to the basket, and say in a pick and roll scenario, they collapse on the guard. You want a killer that will make them collapse. Because now you give Ben Simmons an opportunity to do what?
I mean, if that was the case,
to make a read, and Ben Simmons is definitely a smart player. We're not going to sit here and say he's not.
Okay, if that was the case, why
did you watch that Atlanta series?
But he was their ball handler. This is what we're.
I don't know. I saw Seth being that ball handler for the majority of the series.
I saw him playing down low, and John Collins was guarding him.
Wait, so I'm asking.
I like John Collins.
So
though.
why
he's a good two-way player.
Why doesn't Golden State want Simmons then? Because you're basically describing a better version of Draymond.
No, because I just said they have one.
But and Ben is younger.
Yeah, Ben's younger, but they have one. They have one that they've won with, that they've built chemistry with.
But you're talking about building a team around Simmons, though.
Golden State will never move off of Steph, Clay, or Draymond.
But
you put Steph and Clay with Ben.
But they'll never do that.
But you trade Dre. They could even.
It's Golden State is different because they've built something like family there. So that's a bad team to use an example because they're a different team than.
But I don't think a team is ever going to build around Ben Simmons, and I don't think he's warranted a team building around him. I think the way you're describing a team should play with Ben is a team that is outdated. I don't think that style is going to work in the NFL, in the NBA right now.
I don't know.
But I do think things like, you look at Rich Paul and his past clients, like Anthony Davis, he got out of New Orleans because he was on an expiring deal. They had to move him eventually. Ben Simmons just signed a max contract. He's on lock for 3 to 4 more seasons. Philly can mess him up with fines. They don't have to trade him. They can make this situation ugly. For example, missed media days, $50,000. Practice 1 is $2,500. Practice 2 is $5,000. Practice 3 is $7,500. And practice 4 and beyond is $50,000 per practice. He's going to get fined $227,000 per game up to the 20th game. After the 20th game, he's going to get fined like $350,000. So if you combine all the missed practices plus the missed games on the season, I did the math. That totals and fines $25,282,000, and Ben is getting paid $33 million this season.
Ben's the type of guy to pay it and not play though.
But I mean, if you getting paid $33 million, you have to pay $25 million fines, and you're not even accounting for state tax and out of state tax and living expenses, cars, crib, all this other stuff. Ben plays this year.
I think Philly's also dumb in this scenario too, because it's like you're gonna let him sit. You're going to let one of your best defenders sit, one of your best playmakers sit. So basically you didn't gain nothing back for him. You just lost another player. I think the best move is to just trade him.
Where does he go?
Sacramento.
What's the most? All right, give me the most realistic. What are the most realistic?
I think it's the Timberwolves in Sacramento.
And who does
Cleveland
Minnesota
said they want to get in there. Indiana has jumped in.
I like Indiana with Ben. I don't know. I see a player.
I guess that Malcolm Brogdon trade looks good after all.
I literally see a player that just needs a change in mentality. Like, that's what I see.
That's such a big thing, though. People don't know that. Like, that's a that's a real big thing.
But see, that's shit that you have to learn later in your career, though. That's always something that you have to.
He also has
click
that
on later in your career.
Right type of people around.
It takes special generational talents to come in, demon like, just ready to kill. Like
most players come in that way though now.
Yeah, because this is a different era of basketball. This basketball is like.
I don't think he has the type of people around him to have that mentality.
We'll see.
There's no way.
Right situation, I think it turns it on for him.
There's no way.
Me personally, I don't know.
There's no way the right group of people are telling him to sit out and not get his bread and not play. There's no way. You can't tell me anything different.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Rich Paul is basically telling him to sit out. And
no friend of mine is telling me, bro, don't play.
$25 million.
Yeah, that don't even make sense. You're gonna lose money because you don't, bro. Get on the court, go figure it out, get your bread, figure it out.
The real friend's gonna tell you, bro, be happy.
Yeah,
be happy. What do you want to do? I'm saying, yo, Ben, what do you want to do? He probably told Rich, yo, bro, I cannot play there. I sit out. That's probably why he gave him that advice. He's not gonna give him that advice. He's gonna give him advice based on what he wants.
But he's also made the situation a lot harder. He's made himself getting traded a lot harder.
How so?
He didn't pick specific destinations. He didn't regressed as a player.
He picked certain destinations?
Yes, he said he only wants to go to Cali.
Wow.
He said I only want to go to Cali.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like now you're being picky and you're not that good. Your stock is at an extreme low. Yeah, so you're making it extremely worse, not only for the organization who you signed a big contract and you didn't said you want to play for them. You're here. You're making it worse for them, but you're also making it worse for yourself because now you can't be happy and you're losing money and you're hurting your family. What the hell is wrong with you?
Cali.
It doesn't make sense. Like he's being a weirdo.
Clippers? Yeah, this situation would be.
Where did you think you were gonna go? Cali. You're going to only Sacramento. You're not going to any other Cali here.
This situation would be a lot better if he didn't sign that max contract. But you signed that contract, and who knows if Philly finds him or not? But if Philly does find him, I mean, you're losing $50,000 after the fourth practice, and
that's ridiculous.
NBA teams have 2 practices per week. It's like a 6. How many is like a 24, 32 week season?
Yeah, I think every team has the same amount of practice, but they schedule it differently throughout their weeks.
But yeah, I did the math.
Some teams will practice more than some teteams, but
I did the math, and in total practices, if Ben Simmons doesn't show up, he'd get fined $2,442,000 in total practices and $22,840,000 in total games.
How many years are left on his contract? 4, right?
Like about 3. I think it's 3.
He's like on his third year.
Yeah, man.
He just started.
He's bugging. He can't sit out for that long, man.
He's gonna play.
Ben, if you end up watching this, please do not sit out, bro. You'll look bad. Terrible.
If he does sit out, then he's gonna lose a lot of money. I don't think that's money he's willing to lose.
That's
over half of your check. And from what I've read up, NBA players, that contract that we see at face value,
they don't get the whole thing.
Over half of that is already gone.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's crazy.
So if he's getting if he's getting fined this much money, he's gonna go.
Wait, where does it go though?
Taxes,
bro.
Expenses.
But what if you live in Florida?
Once you make more, they take more.
I mean, he has to pay Rich Paul, his agent, too.
But Florida don't pay taxes, I thought.
No, Texas
does.
I mean, he lives in Philly, though.
I'm saying Texas doesn't.
So I'm saying it doesn't depend on the state?
Yeah, Philly has like a 3% tax, though.
I think Florida doesn't pay taxes. I think you're right. I think it's Florida.
I know
and
Texas. Seb told me. Seb lives in his family lives in Florida. He told me they don't pay taxes.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They definitely don't.
That's why Miami's such a great destination to go to.
That's why D-Wade still got that
Miami's
bread.
a sleeper team this year.
So what Cali pay probably a lot of taxes, right?
Yeah, Cali plays out New York, New Jersey. We're like 7%, bro.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn. So they don't even really see that. Lying ass.
Yeah. The more money you make out here,
that's why them endorsement deals is crucial. Because that's like, you get all that.
That's basically your back end.
Who wants to endorse Ben Simmons right now? All he gets is negativity on social media.
I don't even think they endorsed. His game just doesn't scream endorsement.
What athlete is he? Where is he signed to?
I don't think he's signed, bro.
I think he
might
might be signed to Nike or something.
Yeah, he has to be a Nike athlete.
They probably dropped him, bro.
They
just cut.
Let's just be
realistic. They probably dropped him, bro.
Nah, they're not dropping him.